You don't need scratch paper.
What are we turning in last night?
All right, I'll collect at the end of class. All right, listen up. Brandy, I did. I put it right there.
Wait, Mr. Chartier.
Right next to you.
Mr. Chartier, about that. What is going on right
Hey,
here?
could you allow me to just start? I haven't even started talking yet. Could you allow me to just talk?
20 minutes, 13 questions. Oh, crap. I can't do
All right, I need everyone to be quiet. This is the worst type of class to ever teach.
Yes.
And that's because we got to, as a group, do things. And then we have to do it individually. So I need your patience. I need your cooperation. I need your patience. I need your, where's yours? Okay. Now turn around your desk. Hey, do I have a note?
Yeah, here.
What is it?
So retarded. I would offer you my stuff.
No, right here.
I don't have my last stuff.
Your mask on your face.
No, my
You said
last
math.
stuff.
No, you don't need anything. You don't need anything. All right, Rowan, move down a couple chairs. All right, so here we go. Okay, same speech has been given you. First and foremost, you must, like this cannot be a fail thing. You must have a calculator. I have been told, or I was told this, I must collect your calculators because they don't trust you to bring them on, what's the test day? Tuesday. I went in and I argued, I said, they're high school students, right? This is their future, it's not our future. If they screw this up and they leave a calculator at home, then they screw their life up. Okay, listen. I have to have you have a graphing calculator on the test day. I argued so I wouldn't have to take your calculators. Today is when they wanted me to take them and keep them for the next, what, 5 days? Till you take the test. That's ridiculous. Plus the fact that they're $100 a piece. There's, 24 of you. I don't want 24 or $2,400 worth of calculators that I'm responsible for. I'm telling you, you better not show up and make me look like a fool for giving you this responsibility. You have to have a calculator on that. I don't care if you borrowed it from someone outside of this class. The 10th graders will not be taking PSAT the day you take it. You got a 10th grade friend, borrow theirs. But you have to have a graphing calculator on that day. And the test day is?
I don't know. Monday?
The test day is?
Tuesday.
On Wednesday, you are at home.
And on Monday.
Okay. And at Monday, you are here in class. Okay. You have to bring it. I'm not going to say bring extra batteries in case, Chris Mask. Just make sure your batteries are good before you come to school. Okay. I will be clearing your calculators, so you'll lose any bit of information you already have stored on any programs, games, whatever. Okay. The PSAT test, the practice SAT, the preliminary SAT. I really can't do this.
Guys.
I really can't do this without your cooperation. Give me your cooperation. The PSAT test, which is the practice SAT. The SAT test is what you will take junior year for record. That number stays with you for life. Okay? If you can't figure out the importance of this test to you, right, regardless of what you think or you don't think you're going to college, right? You know you're going to college, then I don't need to give you the speech. For those of you that think maybe sort of kind of, it's that important. For those of you that convince yourself you're not going to college, well, I didn't go to college till I was 40. I went to college and I still had to take the SAT. I took the ACT. But same idea. Do well on this test, the PSAT. Why? Because it's practice. You will have a good sense of where your future lies after this test this year, of whether or not you need to panic. And finally, I don't know, some of you come to the realization that school is important to your future, or maybe you'll get the reassurance that, yes, you're doing things good and you're on the right track where you need to be. Okay. Most high school students who are going to college do independent study for the SAT. That means outside of school, They either enroll in some program, they go online, find some program, they buy a book, and they study for the SAT. I don't mean the day before the test. I mean like months. Many students take the test multiple times to see if they can get a higher score. You take it 3 times, the highest score counts. In fact, most colleges, not all, but most colleges, remember you got a language arts and a math portion, they do what's called, I forget the actual term, but they look at each score independently, your math score and your language arts score. And so if you take the test twice, and on one time you do great on the math and bomb the language arts, the second time vice versa, it's called composite scoring. They do the composite score. They take the highest of both, the highest math and the highest language arts, and that's your SAT score. Okay. Most colleges allow you to do that, but not all. It is a multiple choice test. It's not like the CMAS test where there was like a big open box and you had to write things and draw things. It's A, B, C, or D, right? It also, unlike when I took the SAT way back when, it doesn't penalize you for guessing. When I literally took the SAT the first time, if you guessed and you guessed wrong, you lost a point. Like your score just went down. If you guessed and you got it wrong. The current SAT test does not penalize guessing. So let's talk about this. This is every single question pretty much is a word problem. Every single question. You're going to see a few that have a few words, but nearly every question is a word problem. They come in 3 flavors, easy, medium, and hard. The problem is they don't give you like, hey, here's the first 10 are easy, then the second 10 are medium, and the last 10 are hard. They're all mixed together. They're all word problems. You will not know whether it's an easy, medium, or hard till you read it. Most students, I think I'm pretty sure on this, most students do not finish this test. Literally, you will run out of time. Most students, okay? We're talking about the students that are trying. Student says, I don't care about this. Yeah, they're going to finish the test, right? Most students run out of time. That means at some point, you got to start guessing, okay? Let me talk about guessing. From a math perspective, the best guessing is in the following manner. Read the problem at least twice. Determine whether you got a good clue or I got no clue at all what they're even asking. If you have no clue, don't answer it, skip it. There is a chance that further in the test that maybe, I don't know, the math fairy comes and sprinkles math dust over your head, and all of a sudden you can, oh wait, now I remember how to do that, right? If you've already guessed at that one, you're not going to remember. Wait, which one did I guess at? Leave it blank. You do the ones that you know. You read it twice. Okay, I can do that one. Do it. Number 2. Oh, wait, I don't even know what they're asking. Skip it. 3, 4, 5. Skip it. 7, 8, 9. Oh, I can do those. 8, 9, 10. Okay, teacher just said 5 minutes left. Now I guess. A. Pick one letter. Stick with it. It's not that C is the winner always. One of the letters, most likely probability-wise, because what they do is they randomize the answers so that there isn't like C. It goes A, D, C, B, A, pick one letter and stick with it. Some questions you're going to be able to say, well, I know it's not that answer, and then you got problems. And then you're left with B, C, and D, and wait, I was going with A. Then you got to like flip a coin and just take your best guess. But absolutely positively, if there's a possibility of eliminating some answers, eliminate them first before you skip it. Okay. Usually those ones that you can actually eliminate, that's probably one you can get to the answer to. This is going to be a problem. You're going to see a couple of these. It's time test, and it's short, right? For instance, on this one right here, it comes in 2 flavors, calculator, no calculator. It says 13 questions, 20 minutes. Almost guaranteed. You're going to run out of time. Pick and choose the questions you attempt wisely. Pick the ones that, yeah, I know exactly what to do. That's the one you should spend your minute or 2 per question on. For those that know what you're doing, you're going to find this a very easy test. For those who have paid no attention in Algebra 1, you don't have a chance of doing any of this right because you haven't paid attention, right? You got a chance to fix that. It's just freshman year, but you better fix it before junior year. Start paying attention. Start putting effort into your studies. Don't sit here in a class and absolutely say to yourself, I have no idea what just happened. Never let that happen. Okay. They do give you a cheat sheet, a resource card. It's pretty weak, right? What you see in front of you is the resource card for the SAT and the PSAT test. It shows you what, 10 shapes? No, it's going to be on your test, right? They're going to give you that. It's going to be, I don't know what page, but it'll be on that page. It gives you your basic shapes. It gives you your Pythagorean theorem. It also gives you geometry. Students know this, but you guys don't. Next year you will when you take geometry. It gives you the 2 special right triangles. Okay. So you don't have to memorize that. But for the most part, it's a pretty weak cheat sheet. Okay. It gives you a couple of instructions. It says all the answers are real numbers. You don't know about imaginary numbers unless otherwise indicated. So if there are imaginary numbers, complex number answers, it will tell you. None of you know anything about complex numbers. You will by junior year, but you don't know about the. I don't think you're going to see any complex numbers freshman. But next year there might be a couple of them. It also talks about something called degrees and radians. You don't know anything about radians yet. Neither do my geometry students. You'll get that junior year, radians. You will not see any things. All right, when this printed out, there were a couple just in the instructions, some weird stuff. Just ignore that, it's no big deal. All right, here's what we want to do. I'm going to say, let's do number 1. Don't do it yet. You're going to open it up. You're going to give it 30 seconds of reading. All right, we're going to solve it together. The reading by yourself is going to be, can I answer this? Or I have no clue. And then we're going to keep track of that. Okay, you ready? All right, number 1, read for 30 seconds. It should not take you 30 seconds, yes. Number 1, read. 30 seconds. Just number 1, right. Shouldn't take you 30 seconds. Come on, you. There we go. All right, 30 seconds is up. Nathan, do you think you could solve this? I don't mean can you get the right answer, but you know what to do here. Yeah. Okay. Caden? Brandy? Anna? Rylan, you know what to do? Those are the questions you immediately tackle. I don't care if it takes you 2 minutes. Knock that sucker out. If you know what to do, that's the one you're going to do well on. Okay, notice it gives us answers. Whenever it gives you, and they will always be answered, you got 2 ways of doing it. Plug it in for X or cross multiply, your choice. Okay, 3 times 60 divided by 4. One of these answers right here. 45. 40 times 40 is 160, not 180. Okay, but when you were confident, though, like, yeah, I can solve this one. So they will absolutely ask you questions that involve cross multiplication. 2 fractions separated by an equal sign, cross multiply. This is an easy question. All right, 30 seconds. Read number 2. If there's something that we have not done this year, I will point it out. First one we've done. All right, time's up. Porter, number 2. You think you can do this? Porter says no. What do you think, Josie? You think you can do that?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Piper? No chance. What do you think, Rowan?
Maybe. No, probably not.
Okay. Landon? Okay. This is just a slope question. That's it. So the table shows some pairs of values. These are points. We put these points on the graph. What does it make? It makes a line. It says, which of these following equations represents that? We've done this before. I gave you a table and I said, write the equation. I mean, I don't know how many chapters ago this was, right? 4 chapters ago we did this. I gave you multiple points. You wrote the equation. Hey, check it out. Are the slopes the same or different? We just need to calculate one slope and we're done. We could do the y-intercept too, but that would take too much time. How about we just calculate one slope? How many points do you need to calculate one slope? 2. Pick 2 points. Yeah, let's pick the small numbers. 7 minus 5. 2 minus 1. You get 2 over 1. Which one has a 2 for the slope? And you're done. I didn't even need to do the y-intercept. Now, will that be the question on the test? If they're nice to you, if they're not nice to you, 2 of them will have a 2. You'll have to calculate the y-intercept. Remember to calculate the y-intercept. Once you know the slope, you pick 1 point, throw it into y equals mx plus b. Oh, I can't write this. Mx plus b. 1 in for x, 5 in for y. 1 in for x, 5 in for y. We found the slope was 2, and then solve for b. 2 times 1, subtract 2 from both sides. So b equals 3. Which one? Oh, it was there. It had to be there, right?
Or you could also apply the equation to the.
I haven't taught you point slope, but we could use point slope, but you still got to calculate slope. Okay. And by the way, they're in y equals mx plus b form, slope intercept form. Okay. Number 2 was, they consider 2 a medium one. I would consider 2 pretty easy. The problem is you see all those words and half the people are going to say that one must be a hard one. I'm going to give up right now before even reading it. Don't be intimidated by the size of the numbers. Read the questions. All right, 30 seconds. Number 3. Oh, that must be impossible. Look at all those numbers. This is an easy one.
That's what I'm thinking.
This one's an easy one. Thirty seconds. Don't be intimidated by the number of words and the size of the numbers. Hayden, what do you think? Yes or no? We're going to try this one? I did say it was the easy one. Most kids will look at this and immediately give up. It's like, oh my God, look at those numbers.
The numbers aren't bad. I just can't feel like.
The numbers are bad because look, they're just large numbers. It's not a big deal. It says a discount airline sells a certain number of tickets X. $90 each. Do you see 90 times X anywhere? It's everywhere. There's a 90 times X everywhere, so that didn't help us. Well, no, they all say 90X, 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 90X. Okay, that didn't help us. Okay. It sells the number of remaining tickets Y for $250. Is there a 250 times Y? In everyone? That didn't help us. So we got to continue. For a particular flight, the airline sold 120 tickets and collected a whole bunch of money. How many tickets do they sell? So that has to be, if X is the number of cheap tickets, Y is the number of expensive tickets. When we add those numbers together, we have to get, how many tickets do they sell? 120. Where do you see that one? I see it in A. Do you see it in the other ones? All right, we got rid of 2 questions or 2 answers. The last one says that if you add up all the money, you get
27.
2 of them that have that number in there.
And one of them's already.
And one of them's already crossed out. It's got to be A. It's got to be A. This is an easy one. It's only hard because the numbers are ugly. Oh, by the way, system of equations here. We've done this before. Lots of words. Lots of words. Remember, system of equations. I said, when I taught this to you, I said the word problems only come in one flavor. Item 1, item 2, you add them together, you get a number, right? And then there's always be like money or something involved. Flavor 1 plus flavor 2 equals something like that. This is an easy one. You guys can do this. Solving it, okay, that's a little bit more challenging, right? But to set it up, try it. Just like the procedure I just showed you. All right, number 4. Number 4 requires you to remember, they consider this a medium one. I consider this an easy one.
That's hard.
But it does require you to recall how to do it. All right, hey, is there any number in front of x squared? Try this one. This one's going to be an easy one. Do you remember solving it? We are going to do this as the very last chapter of the book, but we've already done this before. Factor. Give me two numbers multiplied 60.
32.
Always start with 1.
1 and 60.
Does that add up to negative 17? 2 and, does that add up to 17?
Oh, it's 3.
3 and 15 is not 60. 3 and,
14.
what times 3 is 60?
14.
20.
61.
Does that add up to 17?
No.
Sure it does.
No, it doesn't.
If
23.
20 was negative. It is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
That's the fact, that's the property of factoring.
See,
If we make 20 negative and 3 positive, 3 times negative 20 is negative
you can
60.
just make it negative if you want.
You can. Where were you when we did this?
I have no clue.
Two numbers multiply that add up to this. That's literally what we're asking for. So we throw those two numbers in. 3 was positive, x plus 3, x minus 20. Is that one of the answers?
You got it wrong. You said B. She said it was B.
Hey, option number 2. Anybody see it? Hey, you forget how to factor it. What does that mean?
You
Distributive property.
Just FOIL it out or stack them and multiply. Now, granted, there's 4 answers here, so you'd have to do 4. And by the way, it was the last one. So that's worst case scenario. I'm just saying, this is an easy one. They consider it medium. This is an easy one for an Algebra 1 student. It's hard. It would be, to me, it would be a hard one if they threw a number in front of X. Okay, then it's that second technique that's somewhat challenging to remember what to do. We will do 3 days of this. You should remember how to factor a quadratic after 3 days of this. Okay? Yeah.
So when we get to these,
Hey, hold the noise down.
when we get to the calculus section, I forgot my calculator. What do you like?
What- We're going to do it. Hey, listen. My motivation today is low.
We're just doing
I need you to cooperate. Okay. All right. 30 seconds. Read number 5. Number 5 is an easy.
It's easy.
It is an easy question.
Okay,
It's
okay,
all-
It is, and there should be no one in this class that gets this wrong.
It's B.
Not a single person. Don't yell out answers. Let people think. Not a single person. You literally did this yesterday. I'm sorry, the day before yesterday. Except you did an inequality. You do equations the same way you do inequalities for graphing the line. You can do this one.
I did it, and I didn't think I could do it.
I think I might not. I don't really know.
Aiden, where's the y-intercept? Where is the y-intercept? Look at the answers. How many have, he said, positive 3. How many have a positive 3 as the y-intercept? How many have, how many have a positive 3 as the y-intercept? B and D. You see that? If we're lucky, we've answered the question right there, but we weren't lucky. I mean, sometimes you can just get it right from the y-intercept. If it was 3 and that was negative 3, we'd be done. Second way you can not cheat, but you can make it a little bit easier. Hey, is the slope positive or negative?
I want it to be cheap.
Is it positive or negative?
It's
Negative.
negative.
It's negative. Now look at your 2 possible answers. Is the slope? Oh, they're both negative. Okay, they didn't help. But it could, maybe. Right? Unfortunately, we got to do slope. Well, how many points do you need to calculate slope? You just did this. Well, here's 1 point. Where's the other point?
2.
Count.
1, 2, 3, and 1.
It's down 3 over 1. So what's the answer?
B.
Negative 1, third x plus
I heard D and B. Well, duh.
It's D.
It is B.
Oh, you're
You said down 3 over 1. You literally said that. So it's got to be B.
I knew it.
What's the slope between the 2 points?
rise over.
I would actually.
Rise over run, not run over rise.
That's the first question I would have gotten right.
I would have gone that way too.
Could have got it wrong.
I would have. I should.
All right,
It's a B.
stay with me. That is, once again, that is a very easy one. They actually consider that a medium one. All right. Number 6, just by looking at it, you think it's easy, medium, or hard?
Hard.
This one is an easy one.
No, it's
Lies.
not easy.
Look at it.
Lots of negatives, lots of numbers.
Yeah, but look at it.
I am looking at it.
Let me make it larger. So
Hey, like, really look at it.
I'm just saying, and I said at the start, you can't judge the difficulty of the problem by the numbers. You can't judge the difficulty by how many words. You got to read it and you got to look at it. What do they want us to do here?
Which is the following expression is equivalent to the expression.
What do they want us to do here?
Find the twin.
The bottom of the right one.
They want you to simplify it. Do the math. Let's do the math. What do we got to do first?
So it's C or D.
Distributive property.
We got to use the distributive property. Let's see if we can make our life quicker. Watch this. -2 times -x. Minus 11x.
-1.
Negative 9.
Let's do that again. -2 times -x.
Negative,
2x.
Minus 11x.
9x. Negative 9x.
Which one has a -9x?
Yeah, it's gonna be B.
Well, if you're lucky,
C.
we would have figured it out with that one thing. Now we got to do the other one. -2 times positive. Guys, come on. -2 times positive 5y. 10y plus 31y.
Hi, it is C.
So what's the answer?
It's C.
It is C.
He said it's C, guys.
Hey.
No, every teacher said it's not.
Half of you were ready to give up on this problem. You can't be intimidated. Let me talk. You can't be intimidated by the numbers. You can't be intimidated by, this one doesn't have many words. Don't assume that the ones with the biggest numbers, the ones with the most words are the hardest ones. They're not always. Okay. Number 7, 30 seconds.
Is this on a computer or
This will be on paper.
it says continue? Like,
No, it's going to be on paper.
that is not good. No,
I don't understand the words.
the formula.
The book considers this a medium one. I'm going to show you this one is easy as well too.
No, you're lying. These words are too big.
So many PSD and.
This is an easy. They actually consider it medium.
I got the whole
This was an
alphabet.
easier. You can't go through life quitting at the first little tiny obstacle. Read it.
Y'all,
I'm about to. I'm going.
so I can like fully read this. It's too much noise to read. Like, this is not our- yeah, if there's too much noise, I can't read.
The key here is the last sentence. What does it say?
Which formula represents H in front of them?
Look at all the answers. What do they all start with?
H.
So all they're asking you to do is take the equation and do what?
Oh, it's D. No, it's not.
All they're asking you to do is to take the equation and do what? Look at the answers.
I don't know.
Look at each answer. What do they have in common?
Now H.
No,
So
numbers.
take the equation and do what?
Multiply.
Change it. put up a
Change
green.
it. Turn it around. Fix it.
Go ahead.
Does it want you to move the H to C?
How do we turn this into one of the answers?
I don't know.
We just got to solve for H. That's it. There's no numbers in the answers. Look at the answers. Okay? Hey, no joke. This is one of the easiest ones on the entire test.
Just write the H.
Yeah, but you guys are like, you're giving up.
We're not. We're
I am.
trying.
No one is trying. You're giving up. You're like, it's impossible. Watch. I got to turn this into one of these answers. I'm going to show you how easy this is.
We're gonna cry on tester.
P is equal to S plus D G H. Step 1. What's the easiest thing to get rid of?
P.
Get rid of S.
How do you do it?
It's algebra.
Subtract S.
Subtract S, both sides.
Okay. Let's see.
P minus S will be equal to D G H. What are we trying to solve for?
H.
So what's attached to H?
D.
How?
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it now. Okay, we're good. Oh, okay. Okay, I get it.
It's in B.
It's in B. It is B.
I'm gonna say, this is literally the easiest question on the entire test. And you guys 100% convinced yourself it must be impossible, because look at all those words. I don't know what to do with the numbers, there's no numbers. And I don't know how to solve an equation, which you do know what to do. Which one did it match?
B.
H equals P minus S over DG.
B.
Stop giving up. They're not that, well, this one is not that hard. Some of them are hard. Okay. The last sentence there, you're going to see this guaranteed multiple times in the test. It's going to give you an equation. This is the second time we saw it. The other time we saw this was question number, maybe I'm confusing it with the other class. I am confusing it with the other class. Okay. All right. Let's look at the calculator portion. We're going to do 2 days of this, and then we'll do another one. They gave me 2 practice tests. I will send you home over the weekend with the second practice test.
Do we have to clear them out?
I will be clearing them. All right. Before we do that, quiet please. I got to show you the most, listen please. Turn to this page. It looks like this in your packet.
Oh, it's one of these. I hate this.
Okay. Unfortunately, the SAT does have one confusing. It's not, once you understand what's going on, it's not that big of a deal. But when you've never seen it before, it's confusing. You ready? There's only a few answers where they won't tell you A, B, C, D. There's only a few. They will say, write the answer. Brandy, give me an answer. Any answer's fine. 72. If you have to type in, you see the page? 72, here's what it says. How many boxes do you have there for every question? Look how many boxes.
4.
You have 4 boxes. You have to fit 72 into those boxes. So you have first box, second box, third box, fourth box. They tell you you can write it any way you'd like. You could write 72. You could write 72. You could write 72.
Can you do like a 7 in the first box, 2 in the last one?
It doesn't show that, so I'm going to say don't do that.
Can you do
Okay.
72.0?
If you had 72.0, I'm sure they would accept that. I would not do that. Now, the weird ones are the ones with decimals and fractions. Give me a decimal number. 2.15. How many boxes do we have? 2 goes in the first box, point goes in the second box, 1 goes in the third box, 5 goes in the fourth box. Hey, you want to know what's really bad?
2.66.
If you write that in there, you get 0 points. Do you know what you get points for? You get points for the bubbles. So even though you wrote 2.15 and it's the answer, 0 points. In order to get the points, you got to bubble that in.
That's dumb.
So do not forget to bubble it in. Oh, I got the answer, 2.15, and then you don't fill in the bubbles, 0 points. Okay, repeating decimals, 1.3333. What do you write?
1.32.
You got to fill in all the boxes, 4 boxes, 1.33.
And then you put the line.
If it was 1 point, there is no line. No. 1.666, what do you write? They want you to round, right? So you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4. You need to write 1.67. Okay. Lastly, fractions. Okay. Fractions, you can see there's a fraction bar in every box. So if it was 3/17, you would write 3/17. Do you see that, everybody? I don't know how many you'll tell me when you take your PSAT. I don't know how many of these are on, but there's certainly a couple of them. Be ready for that.
When it's lower than 5, you just round down to like 0. What do you do?
Yeah, lower than 5, you leave it alone. You don't round down to 0.
I forgot how to do that.
Okay. This is called the calculator section. It doesn't mean you have to use the calculator. I'm not saying don't use it. I'm just saying just because it's in the calculator section doesn't mean you have to use a calculator. Maybe the question can be solved without a calculator. Doesn't require it. Some of them will though. Okay.
I don't know how to use my calculator. I don't have it with me.
All right. The first calculator question is number 1. Take a look at number 1. Take a look at number 1. Remember what I said? I said just because it's in the calculator section doesn't mean you have to use a calculator. I don't mean that like show how big a brain you are, you're not using the calculator. I'm just saying that maybe it doesn't require it. All right, keep it down, keep it down. Easy, medium, hard.
So she ordered, so she has like.
She ordered 3 cans of lemonade for each person. She also ordered one pizza for every 4 people. If she ordered 6 pizzas, which of the following could be the number of cans? Notice what it says. It doesn't say what's the answer. What does it say?
How many cans of lemonade?
That's not what it says. So guess what they're really telling you? No, read the last thing. Guess what it's really telling you? So what does that mean?
Yes.
Maybe there's more than one right answer. Do you see that?
Circle them all.
Which of the following could be? Maybe there's one answer, but maybe there's more. Here's the problem. How many people are in this party? How do you know that? Doesn't say that.
It's D.
Doesn't say that.
It's D.
What does it say?
It's D. It's D.
One for every 4, and she ordered 6. That's 6 times 4.
If there's one person at the party, how many pizzas did she buy?
0.
She bought 4.
If there's one person at the party, how many pizzas is she going to buy?
4 pizza.
She's going to buy 1.
No, 0. 4 people.
Agreed, but you're not going to buy 0 pizzas.
By 1 slice.
The problem is this. Here's how it works. First person, second person, third person, fourth person, 1 pizza. As soon as you get the 5th one, how many pizzas are you buying?
Another 1.
Yeah, but 5 divided by 4 is not 2.
What do you guys do?
You said 2 pizzas for 5 people. Because what you're trying to get me do is to divide what? Or multiply 6 times 4 is 24. It's not how it works. 5 people means
That's
2
why it's
pizzas.
around it. That's why it's not
Agreed. And the issue is that there's more than one. We got to figure this out. So clearly, if you have up to 8 people, how many pizzas?
2.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Clearly, now we have how many pizzas?
6.
Okay. But we also had 6 pizzas when there were 21.
That's why it's could.
And that's why it's a could.
So it
This
could
is
be
actually a hard question.
I think
This is not an easy question.
I think D.
Although you all were convinced this must be an easy one.
I think
It looks like
It looks like it would be easy. Okay, so let's figure this out. This is worst case scenario. She ordered 6 pizzas. If she had ordered 7, we would be over here. She certainly ordered 6. So we know how many people could there be.
24.
Or,
20.
I'm right, 23, or,
22.
those are the possibilities. So what's the answer?
I'm thinking 72. I'm thinking 72.
Watch her get this wrong.
What does it say for?
I think it's CRD.
She ordered 3 cans of lemonade for.
I'm thinking D. I'm gonna get this right.
Yeah, that's my answer.
That's 72.
72.
Well, what do we get?
D.
75.
Hey,
What do you even do?
seriously,
Oh my eyeball.
And 63.
please stop.
It's still 72.
4 times 3 is 72.
It's still 72.
What's the answer?
59,
72.
There's 4 possible
Hold on.
answers.
Oh, I'm picking 72.
Okay.
What is it?
C and
69. And so what are the answers?
72.
You've got to be ready for that. Okay. All right, seriously, guys, I've lost my motivation. Like, I don't think you even want to do this. You're the only class that's like this ever. I'm not a machine. I'm not a robot. All right, I got to be motivated to do this. Typically, my motivation comes from the fact that I teach great kids who are interested in the material, or at least can fake it. They may not be interested, but they certainly want to do well. I seriously doubt that half of you even care. I wonder every day, why do you show up to school? Why would you put yourself through this torture? Because clearly it must be torture because you don't pay any attention. If you thought it had some value in your life, you'd be paying attention. I strongly encourage you to take a look at yourselves. If you truly feel that this has no value for you, stay home. Tell your mom and dad. I would do better if I didn't go to school, if you think that's true. Hopefully you don't. But if you think showing up to any teacher's class and doing what you were just doing makes the teacher happy and more willing to spend their time to prepare class and to teach it to you, you're sadly mistaken. There's a fine line between, do you know what the word joviality means?
Yeah.
It means what? If we're jovial with each other, that certainly doesn't mean what we're doing right now, which is strictness. It means that we kind of joke around, right? Those are the best class. That's also why I want to be a teacher, because I don't want to be a strict teacher. I want to be a teacher where we can talk about anything, be productive, but we don't have to have the strict sit straight in your desk, face forward, don't open your mouth, that sort of thing. But you guys take advantage of that all the time. You go from being, I don't know, the kids that we would like you to be to the kids that we don't want to teach like that. It doesn't have to be like what we're at right now. But what it has to be is a little bit of better self-control when you feel yourself getting out of control. That's what you need to work on. We're literally doing something like, I'm not joking. This is like your life right now, what we're doing. If we talk about what we did yesterday, that's one section of one chapter of one class of your entire high school career. The PSAT, which prepares you for the SAT, is literally a number that will hang over your heads for the rest of your life, either as a shining example of, look at me, look how well I did, look at the college I got into, of, man, if I only would have studied harder, I could have gone to college in high school, but I didn't, I messed around. We're trying to help you here. Accept the help, show up willing to work, and stop messing around. Yes? Do you think that stuff that was going on 5 minutes ago was good? I have no idea why you're falling out of your chair. Stop it. When you do something silly, laugh for it for a few seconds and then get over it. And let's get back to work. We ready to get back to work? All right, let's get back to work. Be careful. This one could have turned really ugly really quick, and it lulls you into a false sense of security. All right, Tristan, pick one. Pick the one that you think you would have to use a calculator on. You can flip the pages too.
Okay, yeah. We're going to 7 or 8. 8.
All right, let's take a look at number 8. Ugh, boy,
Sorry.
that's a lot of words. All right, number 8. The equations below show the total amount of water in gallons, Y is gallons, that has flowed through 2 different types of shower heads in X minutes. X is minutes, Y is gallons. You got 2 shower heads. Clearly, one goes faster than the other. Which one is the faster one? B is the faster one. Based on these equations, which of the following statements is a correct comparison? For every minute, what was minute, X or Y? You just said both. X. For every minute, that means we're letting X be 1. For every minute, the amount of water that goes through B is twice A. We can figure this out really quickly just by plugging in for every minute. What does that mean, minute? That means 1. For every minute. That's 1. We just plug in 1. That's it. That's it to find out for A. Okay, so let's plug in 1 and see what happens. Which one was minute, X or Y? Well, let's plug in 1. What do you get? I get 1.25 and I get 2.5. Well, let's see if it's true. Now my words are too small. I can't read it. For every minute, the amount in B, which was 2.5, is twice the amount of A. Is that true?
Yes.
Boom. Could be that one. We're done after one little tiny thing. But we don't know if it's the final answer. We've got to continue to read. For each minute of use, once again, for each minute means what? 1 for X. For each minute of use, the amount of water flows through A is 12. That's not right. That's wrong. He picked the one that you think is the hardest one. This is an easy question. The amount of water that flows, water was what? X or Y? All right. The amount of water that flows through type A per minute increases at a faster rate than the amount of water that flows through type B. Which one was faster, A or B? Can't be C. The amount of water that flowed through type B per minute increased at a faster rate than the amount of water that flowed through type A per minute. True or false?
True.
Gotta be A or B. If they threw some numbers in here, we could confirm something. They didn't throw any numbers. Well, that's the SAT test. 2 possible answers right there. The equation below show the amount of water flows to B. There's nowhere here does it say, based on these questions, which of the following statements? Look, there's an S there even. Right? That's one of those key things. Statements is a correct comparison. A and D are both correct. All right, well, that didn't require a calculator. I do not know what their algorithm is like when they put it in the calculator section, how many they actually want you to use a calculator on. Clearly some of them. Which one do you think, Josie, is a calculator question? 10? Usually, if it's a calculator, the numbers are going to be very ugly, or there might be some graphing involved. Yeah, it would look like 10, but it turns out that 10 isn't a calculator question either. Okay. The charges for parking lot, this is called a step function. It looks like steps, right? It's called a step function. Step function, sometimes they call it a postage stamp function. Things go up and they stay the same for a while, then they go up again. For instance, you buy a 20-cent stamp and you can pay for this amount of weight, and then it stays that way up until a certain number of weight and it changes. Okay. So it says up to 30 minutes, you charge $1. Do you see the dot? The open circle means no charge. Open circle means no charge. Hey, if you stay 0 minutes, there's no charge. But if you stay up to 1 minute, up to 30 minutes, then you're charged $1. Okay. Notice the y-axis is dollars, the x-axis is time. It's asking us which one of these, A, B, C, or D, is correct. The easiest way is simply to pick one and see. Hey, does graph number 1 show $1 for 0 to 30 minutes? Yes or no? Does A show $1 for 0 to 30 minutes? Notice how far does it go? If this is 60, halfway would be 30. It does show that. You see that? So it could be A. Could it be B? Halfway. Yep. Could it be C? Yep. So that didn't differentiate anything. Notice all of them have the same basic scale up until a certain point. Probably we might want to look a little bit further on down in our graph. Let's go to the last one. $14 is what? 180 to 240. So does it show on A $14 for 180 to 240? Look at the graph.
No.
Can't be A. Do you see that? Look, $14 is way up here. There's nothing over here. Does B show for 14 bucks, 180 to 240? It does it? No, it doesn't. Look, 180 is right here. So no. How about for C? How about for D? Boom, you're done. It just is a matter of looking at interpreting them. I'm going to go back to, I let you guys pick the ones you thought were the hardest, the most challenging one. That one was ridiculously easy. Previous one was pretty easy. Pizza one I thought was a little bit complex. Yeah. We're kind of out of time.
No, we're not.
We're going to do this again tomorrow, so. Same packet. Hey, do not lose the packet. You will. Yes. Look at the time. Is this the first time you guys have lost your brains and forgot when lunch was? You didn't hear.
Mr.
All right.
Charrier.
Haley, we will continue this tomorrow.
Okay. I have a question.
We can do it tomorrow. Sure.
Mr. C.
Haley, any questions?
Yes. Are you able to like print it out and have my mom come pick it up?
Everybody's talking, Haley. I can't really hear you. Say it again. I'm going to turn the volume up.
Are you able to print out the PSAT test and set it in the front office so my mom can come pick it up for me?
It's on Teams right now.
I understand that, but it's
Oh, you need it
56
printed out for
pages.
you?
Yes, please.
All right. I will print it out and I will put it at the front office for you by 3 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
All right. See ya.
Yep.